Well, hello again. I'm Bill Russell, President of Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce. So we have another episode of Around the Lake. And today we have Todd Levitt. He's with Lake Norman Realty. And Lake Norman Realty has office all around the lake. You work with Abigail Jennings. Todd, I know you're in Denver, but what are some of the other offices that Lake Norman Realty has?
So we have the one in Denver. We have a property management office in Denver as well. We have one in sales office in Mooresville, Statesville, Huntersville. We're all around the lake. I believe, if I can remember right, I believe we have 7 or 8 locations for buying and selling, and we have 2 locations strictly for rentals. So we're all around. We can help anybody and everybody out because of those different locations.
And Todd, you're really in Denver and you're a realtor and a broker.
Correct. Yes, which is kind of weird. So I'm originally an agent out of Arizona, and out there, everybody is just a realtor. And then you can get your broker's license by doing more schooling and things like that. So when we first moved out here and we heard everybody is a broker, then it's like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. And then there's just designations of brokers, but there's no quote unquote realtors, even though we like to call ourselves realtors.
And most of the homes that you work with, are they in Denver or are they spread out throughout Lake Norman?
Pretty much everywhere. We like to say, my business partner and I, we like to tell people that we will literally help anybody and everybody buying and selling, as well as we do rentals, get people into rentals as well. I've always been one, I don't want to designate certain people, certain criteria, certain price ranges. If you need help, we want to help you. If you're looking for any location within, a somewhat of a less of a drive, we're not going to go all over North Carolina, but we will definitely stretch it if somebody needs our assistance.
And the real estate partner you talk about is Gina Ray Terry. She's y'all are partners together.
Correct. Yes. We've been partners since 2020, and it's been a great partnership. It's nice to be able to have two realtor slash brokers to be able to assist clients. If for some reason I'm out with somebody and my phone rings, she can get a hold of them, and vice versa. We can do paperwork together. And I think it's a smooth transition, not only for us, but for the client, and be able to provide them the best service from start to finish.
Todd, what price points do you work with, or all of them?
Yeah, it seems like we have literally in these 6 years that we've been doing real estate, both here and back in Arizona, we'll work anything from a $50,000 lot to a $4 million riverfront or waterfront home, and everything in between. That has been a benefit to why we've been so successful, not only with sales closing, but not only that referral business. It's just doing people right, doing as many people right, and then they tell everybody, friends, family, so forth. So that's where we built our business.
And I know you were in the real estate market where you came from. Was it Arizona, Texas? What was it?
Yeah, so we were in Arizona,
Arizona.
and I like to say we're closer to Vegas than most people think Phoenix, Scottsdale, when you think Arizona, but definitely closer to Vegas. Vegas was our backyard, so right on the Nevada, Arizona border, and in turn California border was like 30 minutes south of us. So we were in what they call the tri-state. So a lot of Californians, a lot of snowbirds, very destinational area.
What would you say is the difference between the Arizona real estate market and the Lake Norman market?
I would say that the North Carolina market, from what I've noticed in the short time, is the price points are higher. Um, the homes typically are older. It's crazy. There's a lot of homes out here, 1900s, even in the 1800s, and they've been all redone. They look beautiful. They look brand new. But out there in Arizona, you're looking at either brand new, latest you'd get is probably in the 70s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. But out here, they're a lot older. And it's just basements. We didn't have any basements out there. Not a lot of septics and
Mhm.
wells. So it's more rural. But then there are also those great communities that offer the newer homes that are close to the cities and things like that. So I think it's a combination of both.
Todd, is it a great time to buy or a great time to sell or both?
So right now, it's kind of been the double-edged sword. Typically over the last year, few months, whatnot, interest rates have been high, which is stopping of a lot of buyers. But what's good is the inventory is still low. So that's keeping the prices somewhat steady, not necessarily where they were during the COVID time, which in my opinion, I don't think for buyers and sellers I don't think it's ever going to go back to that. Whereas the interest rates were at 2 and 3%, and then sales prices of homes were ridiculously high. But right now is a good time to buy because they're talking about the rates going down in 2024. And with that, prices will increase because the demand of buyers is going to increase. So you'll have more competition like you had a couple of years ago. So I personally think you buy now if you're okay with the rate that you're able to be paying. And then once the rates go down, you can refinance. You can always refinance the rate. You can't refinance the sales price of the home. So that's what we're trying to advise all of our clients is to get that done before that happens.
What would you say is the average day that the house is on the market?
Yeah, so case by case basis, obviously if something sits on the market, it's probably in many cases is overpriced. We always try to list our homes when we're representing a seller. We obviously want to get the most for it for our sellers. Everybody wins, but we don't want it to become one of those quote unquote stagnant listings. So we want to get it out there at the right price so we get a lot of movement out there, interest, things like that, and get it sold sooner rather than later. During COVID and so forth, you were seeing homes sell in hours, in minutes before they even hit the market. Now you're probably looking 30, 45 days, give or take. There's some instances where it's a lot sooner than that, but it's now weeks, not hours.
Todd, we've got a lot of great real estate firms in the area. Why should somebody choose Lake Norman Realty over any other real estate firm?
Most definitely. So I did a lot of research when we decided to move out this way earlier this year. I went to a lot of the brokerages, did a lot of that information. I wanted to see what the best avenue was, and really why we chose Lake Norman Realty and why I think that clients should choose us and choose Lake Norman Realty is because they've been around here for so long. I believe they've been in business around the lake since the 70s, if I can remember right. So it's that homegrown feel. They're not just a fly-by-night company, things like that. We offer our clients great services from start to finish. We're on top of things. We're going to find that right house. We're going to get you the right inspections. We're going to do all that sort of stuff. Put the client's needs ahead of anybody else's needs. And that's really what we're able to do and knock it out of the park for them.
Well, Abigail Jennings, who is your CEO, and she has been extremely involved in our community. Just a great person to work with, and so compassionate in so many charitable organizations. Whether it's working with stray animals or protecting our historical treasures. So Abigail is very, very involved in our community.
No, most definitely. It was nice. A couple of weeks ago, I believe it was over in Statesville. They had a Christmas event on their streets and whatnot, and so Jenna and myself had the opportunity to go over to the Lake Norman office over there, and we helped kids build some bird feeders and hand out hot chocolate and things like that. So it's really getting out within the community because I like to say. We help people and then they help us. It's a give and take in all regards. So we're just trying to create those relationships with people that are long lasting. And if the business, when it comes, if it comes, that's a bonus.
And speaking of relationships, you told me you're an ambassador. You're very plugged into the chamber. You had been involved in other chambers of commerce. Tell me, I know you've only been involved about 6 months, but what is the difference between the Lake Norman Chamber and perhaps other chambers that you've been involved in?
Gotcha. Yeah. Again, something else that I really researched when I came out this way. I was associated with the one chamber of commerce that we had out in Arizona. Was an ambassador as well, and it was a great chamber. We did a lot of stuff for the community, things like that. So when I moved out here again, I went to all the different chambers around the lake, and I wanted to see what was going on. Not only what were they going to do for my business, but what could I do for their business and other uh, chamber members' businesses and things of that nature. So we we've joined three of them. Yours was one, Lake Norman Chamber was one, and I have to say they do more events and functions than any of the other ones that we're either a part of and or thought about going. And really it's just creating those connections with people. They've been great to talk with. They understand us being new in the area and welcoming us into all of the events and so forth. So it's definitely been a positive in my opinion.
If somebody is looking to buy or sell their home, why should they look to Jen or Todd?
Well, we're going to give them that velvet glove, velvet rope, white glove treatment from start to finish. We've done hundreds of transactions over these 6 years, and proof is in the pudding. I always tell people that if you really want to get a grand scope of what we do and what we offer to clients and things like that, go online, look us up on Zillow. You'll see all of our past client reviews. And in my opinion, that is the best form of marketing right there that you can have, is doing right by people and then in turn getting those referrals and those repeat customers and things of that nature. So we're not only going to help you with securing a lender and getting pre-qualified if you haven't already. We're not only going to search day and night for for the best homes or land or whatever you're looking for. We're going to set up as many showings as you want to go and see. We're going to find that perfect home, and then we're going to walk you through the process of the contract, the appraisal, the home inspection, the warranty, literally everything from start to finish. You're not just a number to us. You're a client, you're a family, you're a friend, and that's from start to finish. Even after the transaction's done, it seems like we're still contacting with people.
That's good. That's good. Now that you're here in Lake Norman, what is it that you really enjoy about living and working in the Lake Norman region?
So I would have to say the best thing out here that I like is the weather. And in most cases, people would say, well, it's so cold or it's really humid. Um, but there's no, quote unquote, there's no wind out here. We come from an area where it is windy, 40, 50 mile an hour gust on a daily basis. So I like that there's no wind out here. I can deal with the cold temps if there's no wind. So that's not bad. The only thing I do have to say though, it's messing with my golf game. The wind is my one excuse when I hit a bad shot, and now I don't have that. So I'm gonna have to get better.
Todd, I love your sense of humor. Todd, Lake Norman Realty, I really appreciate you spending time a little bit today and sharing about your business. And thank you for getting involved in the Chamber of Commerce. We also want to thank Joe Vagnone, a local business broker who is the presenting sponsor of our Around the Lake. But Todd, again, thank you for getting involved in the Chamber, serving as an ambassador. And anyone looking for your home needs, buying your home, selling your home, look to Todd.
Absolutely. I appreciate everything. Again, this is Todd Levitt with Lake Norman Realty, 980-280-6904. Give us a call.
Thank you, Todd. And you have a
Thank
fantastic holiday.
you as well. Thank you.